Hey gang, BA here with the Blockchain Cartel. It's December 29th, 2021, 8 p.m. Tonight's video is going to be year-end results. I know I'm two days early, but I wanted to go ahead and make this. I'm going to be fairly busy the last 2 days of the year. So barring any catastrophes or extreme ramp-ups, this is what we've got so far. So anyway, just as a reminder, here at the BC Cartel, we want to help you learn about crypto investing, show you how we trade, and then why we are so focused on crypto investments. We are not financial advisors, can't offer financial advice, and crypto investments are extremely risky. If you don't know that by now and you happen to plunk down some capital about mid-November, you'll understand why it's extremely risky. We've had 6 weeks of nothing but just downward movement in the crypto markets, okay? And this is for educational purposes only. All right, so anyway, for those of you that may not have seen the video before, here is our narrative. 3 areas we focus on. We believe legacy stock market investments are dying. We don't mean they're going to die next year, but we believe that there will be a slow transition over the next decade into crypto investments. We believe Bitcoin will outperform legacy investments going forward, and we are out to prove that we can focus and trade low-cap crypto gems and completely trounce Bitcoin returns. All right, let's go ahead and move to the first measurement of success or failure. So this is Strategy 2. For those of you that don't know, Strategy 2 is kind of our flagship trading portfolio. The actual strategy, what we want to show is that the portfolio is designed to beat the returns over simply holding Bitcoin and S&P 500 every quarter. Okay, that's our objective. We focus on the altcoin universe at KuCoin. We're starting to bleed into maybe pulling into Gate.io. But for now, it's primarily KuCoin. Okay, so how have we done so far? I want to direct your attention over here to closed out trades. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, you've inflated this, but these are some of the closed out trades we've had so far. This half means that we've taken half of the positions off at this profit for both of those trades right there. And I just closed this one out because I wanted to roll the capital into Matic. So this is how we're looking so far. Even in this bloodbath, we're still holding our own. I've kind of gone against my rules on this one because I just feel that Solana, when these layer ones come back, this thing is going to skyrocket. I'm not going to be worried about getting my money back. It's taking my money off, at the first half off at 100%. That's what I'm looking for there. So anyway, that's currently what we have in open positions. These are closed out trades, number of days in the trade, and then our P&L for our open out positions. Current as of tonight, December 29th. Okay, here's just a graph to show you. The light blue is, for those of you who've been looking at this before, I've changed the coloring a little bit. But this is our Strategy 2 portfolio. Here is Bitcoin. This all starts September 30th. It's the first time that we started the program. We started just to show that we could trade, pick altcoins and beat S&P. I just put $1,100 in just to show you start with a little bit of scratch and do fairly well. So anyway, took us a while. We eclipsed Bitcoin. Ramped up pretty nicely, and then that's when the calamity is hit. We've held our own pretty well. Again, we're up 78.67% for the quarter from September 30th until December 29th. You can see here that Bitcoin has underperformed the S&P. Bitcoin was simply just gangbusters through about first part of mid-November, and then it's been nothing but downhill ever since. 6 weeks of just pain and agony for everybody holding Bitcoin, hoping for that big parabolic move up. You can see it was a lot more stable holding the S&P 500, from a volatility standpoint, but still the end state is to hold through the volatility and try to trounce the returns of the Bitcoin and S&P. You can see our portfolio was much more volatile than any of these, but end result is for the quarter we're up 78%, and Bitcoin's up 8.29 and S&P's up 11.29 for the quarter. Okay, so that's fairly impressive for the S&P 500. I have to admit, I had no idea that starting in some of the worst time frames in the market that S&P would hold up that well. All right, not I was hoping for a lot more than that, but hey, if I can chip 78% a quarter out of this little strategy right here, we're talking about we'll have a few shekels in 5 years or so. All right, so that's where we stand. Strategy 2, eventually we are going to financialize this right here. So even though I'm showing you all this now, when we get set up in the cartel, we'll be charging just a slight $5.99 a month to come in as part of the program to get the up-to-date, exactly when, instantaneous, what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and why. So anyway, let's move on to, all right. All right, so let's take a look first at okay, so what we have here is, let's go back to a weekly chart. All right, so I've got 2 years of returns for Bitcoin. The beginning of each year is marked with these vertical orange lines. All right, that's the start of the year. So here for last year in 2020, Bitcoin had a return slightly north, about 349%. Okay, that was Bitcoin's return for 2020. Bitcoin's return so far for 2021 is 40.58%. And for the looks of the market, we ain't done yet. This thing could be flat even by the time we get to Friday, the way this market's moving right now. So anyway, 40% up for the year, 349% for 2020. Okay, let's take a look at ETH, and we'll roll to all right, so for 2020, Ethereum's return was 624%, and so far ETH's return for 2021 is 271%. So what I wanted to do is show you the last 2 years. Last 2 years, Ethereum has trounced the S&P 500. It has trounced Bitcoin by wide margins. Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of the underpinnings of my long-term holding portfolio, but I have far more exposure to Ethereum and have had since 2019 than I have to Bitcoin. Okay, everything is getting built on Ethereum. Ethereum is the 800-pound gorilla that all the business models are building on, and then all the other layer 1 networks like Ethereum, the competitors, they're trying to gain market exposure to try to catch up to Ethereum. So just keep that in mind. Ethereum is the 800-pound gorilla for layer 1s. I know a lot of people just love and can't get enough of Bitcoin. I think it's definitely something you have to have in your portfolio. Again, not investment advice, but you can see the last 2 years as this environment matures, Ethereum is gaining on Bitcoin by leaps and bounds. So just keep that in mind going forward, that until it changes, Ethereum over Bitcoin is the way to go. So again, I've mentioned this many times before. There's nothing wrong with having, you know, 35 to 50% of your entire portfolio into Ethereum and Bitcoin. But I would certainly skew that to more Ethereum than Bitcoin. Well, I have. It's not a recommendation. That's what I've done in my own portfolio. So anyway, I wanted you to see those two things right there. Is there anything else? Yeah, what we really need to look at here is we need to look at Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so a couple of interesting things have happened. All right, this downward sloping trend line, I drew that back, oh my gosh, I don't even know when, but all it does, it connects the highs, downward sloping. What you want to see is you want to see a market break that trend line, come up. You just really, if you're long, you just don't even want any heat. You just want to see it break the trend line and go straight up. But that's typically not what happens. They will come down and retest that and then bounce. That's what we call the bump and run. But this thing ain't bumping and running. So let's take a look at it at a micro time frame here. All right, so what we saw here is just a big flush down. This is a 1 hour bar. Sorry, I should be calling this out right here. So what we looked at was a daily time frame with the downward sloping trend line. All right, I want to look in the micro time frame. It's kind of like an x-ray. I just want to see what's taking place. So we hit that right to the T, and then look at the bounce that came off of that. That right there is very, very bullish. However, we have to reclaim, first thing we have to do is we have to reclaim my volatility trend indicator. We have to close above that. We never closed above it when we failed again and went right back down, and that caused the flush down below the trend line. Look below, it failed, it came back up, tried again, failed, came back up. Now it's looking like it's wanting to try to push back down again. So the reason I tell you this is that if we cannot hold that trend line right there, then I'm back on the daily time frame. As long as we are below that trend line, I mean, we're susceptible to come back down and retest this low. All right, for another sneaky look below and then hopefully fail and come back, and it's flushed everybody out, and then it just goes back up. I would just assume it grabs traction right here and then just rips higher and starts meeting all those bullish milestones. You can see we're in a really tight squeeze right here. It hasn't fired bullish, it's trying to, but you know, it's got to show some strength right here. So tonight's going to be pretty interesting to see if we can. This is a squeeze momentum indicator. You can see right here what I like about this is we flushed down, we've come back. You know, even if we flush down and take that out, this indicator is not going to go lower than that. That will be a very bullish setup. I don't want to see that. I just want to see it go up and grab some terrain and fight for every inch to get back at least up to these highs where it's been failing every time. Okay, these are some crucial levels right here. It just can't seem to get above that 51, 52 area right there. We are not out of the woods yet until on a daily time frame we close above the volatility indicator, and we're really not out of the woods until we close on a daily time frame above this box that we're in right now. Okay, this sideways action so that's somewhere around 53 and some change. All right, we got to close above those before it's back on like Donkey Kong again. Yeah, I don't really want to go on anything else. We're about 14 minutes into this. I just wanted to show you what we need to do to reclaim. I mean, that little green area right there I'm digging it, but normally I don't really care about these down moves like this right here, but this one has just been agonizing for the entire month of December. I mean, it has just been agony. I've picked up a lot of good coins, but what I thought was good prices, and then you buy one day and then 3 days later they're 15-20% cheaper. So that's just been the whole gambit back in here. So anyway, let's hope we grab some traction right here. We're right around the daily point of control. That's what this orange line is for volume. So this is where the majority of volume has taken place in this time frame, and we're right there in it. That's what these gray nodes are, volume nodes. So you can see all the volume coming in. Anytime we get below the primary node, it always wants to try to get back to it. That's another thing. Now, it doesn't say we can't go down here to 41 and some change. We absolutely can, and then try to come back up, slingshot back up into it. Anyway, I've rambled enough about this. I want you to see the yearly returns, the S&P of our strategy. Well, it's not yearly, it's just the first quarter that we put it in. I want you to see Bitcoin and Ethereum and why I think it's so important to have your portfolio slightly skewed more towards Ethereum than Bitcoin. All right, that's a wrap for tonight. I'll push out some more videos when I get a chance. Some of the things I'm looking at, if we get a rip from here, there's a lot of stuff that honestly looks like it just wants to go to the moon. It's just waiting, but Bitcoin has got to make its move. I mean, it absolutely has to move. Otherwise, nothing else is going to go until the granddaddy of them all at least shows some strength. Okay, that's all I got for tonight. Hey, this is BA signing out.